So, welcome to a new vlog. First of all, a very hearty thankful to Victory Auto Royal Enfield who has given me this opportunity to do this video. And टाइटल से आप लोगों को पता चल गया होगा, लेकिन उससे पहले इट्स अ न्यूली ओपन शोरूम एट हावड़ा वेस्ट बंगाल. सो आई give this microphone now to one of the executive of this showroom so that he can guide you where this showroom is, and I'll obviously provide their contact details and all everything in the description. They have some good offers and all that Mr. Samir will speak.
थैंक यू सर। हमारा शोरूम 34 फोर रोड नियर गिरिवॉल ढाबा के पास लोकेट है। इसका सबसे बेस्ट जो रास्ता है वो अवनी मॉल के पास से ही होगा सर। अवनी मॉल के स्ट्रेट वाले रास्ते से अगर आप स्ट्रेट आते हो तो हमारा जो आपका शोरूम है वो सामने दिख जाएगा। और ऑफर्स के बारे में वो आपको कैप्शंस में और सर सारा कुछ आपको बता देंगे।
और दो तीन और क्वेश्चंस है। जैसे कि समीर, हम लोग को हमेशा पता है कि रॉयल एनफील्ड बाइक खरीदने से वेटिंग करना पड़ता है, तो मैं पहले 350 सेगमेंट में चला जाता हूँ। जैसे कि हंटर का कितना वेटिंग पीरियड है?
सर हंटर आपको विद इन अ वीक मिल जाएगा हमारे स्टोर से।
और क्लासिक 350 जो नया लॉन्च हुआ है?
10 to 15 डेज सर।
मीटियोर 350?
10 to 15 डेज का आपका वेटिंग होगा सर।
ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू 450 हिमालयन, जो सबसे ज्यादा ये क्रेज है उसका। हिमालयन का क्या वेटिंग?
सर हिमालयन का 35 डेज आपका मैक्स टू मैक्स वेटिंग।
सो हिमालयन का 35 डेज सोच समझ के अपना बुकिंग कीजिए। और आपका गुरेलो का कितना ये?
सर 450 सेगमेंट जितने सारे सबका 35 to 40 डेज का वेटिंग होगा। 650 का आपका 50 डेज का वेटिंग है।
50 डेज का वेटिंग, चाहे वो सुपर मीटियर हो,
कॉन्टिनेंटल इंटरसेप्टर सब कुछ भी।
और एक चीज, ये अभी हॉट केक है जो अभी तक बिका नहीं है, किसी के पास गया नहीं है। इसका बुकिंग स्टार्ट हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है?
सर बुकिंग स्टार्ट हो चुका है बट एक्सपेक्टेड डिलीवरी डेट आपका 2 मंथ होगा सर। इसका वेटिंग आपका 2 मंथ से ही है।
2 मंथ से। बस एक इतना बताओ, द मिनिमम मतलब जो एक शोरूम प्राइस है, सबसे लीस्ट कितना है और सबसे हाईएस्ट कितना है? क्योंकि
इसका जो ऑन रोड प्राइस है मिनिमम हम जो प्राइस करते हैं वो एक शोरूम प्राइस पे नहीं, मतलब ऑन रोड पे डील करते हैं। सो सबसे मिनिमम आपका 4,01,000 होगा और सबसे मैक्सिमम जो टॉप वेरिएंट है वो 4,17,000 ऑन रोड पड़ेगा।
ओके, सो यू गाइस गॉट टू नो कि कितना किसका वेटिंग पीरियड है, तो बेसिस ऑन दैट ओनली यू गाइस कम एंड बुक योर बाइक्स. नाउ लेट्स स्पीक ऑन व्हाट वी आर हियर फॉर टुडे. थैंक यू वेरी मच समीर, थैंक यू वेरी मच. सो जब भी मैं कभी भी किसी रॉयल एनफील्ड शोरूम में जाता हूँ ना, तो ये फ्रेम्स जब भी दिखता है ना, it actually shows from where this Royal Enfield brand has started and where it has come today. So it's today, obviously, we are talking about the BS 650. Yes, obviously, it is not a ride video, but the next video will be a ride video where I will be testing this bike on city, highway, and an off-road, which is coming very soon. So today we will describe a little bit about this bike, and we will also even compare it with the Himalayan 450. Why I'm comparing it with Himalayan 450? Because both this bike has the same characteristics of adventure touring as well as off-roading. Now, if you can see this board, which is Royal Enfield wins 1960 Big Bear Run, and the number plate was 249, Mr. Eddie, who won that race, who started at the end, and he won this race within some 700 fellows were participating in that race. So let's talk now about this bike. I have already done a small video on this one, where I have given the specification on this bike. Now, as you can see, this bike has the same 4-inch TFT display which was there in the Himalayan 450. But what is there included in it? Yes, the navigation is there, but not the Google casting one. You can switch off the ABS over here, just like you can do it in the Himalayan 450. There are no riding modes in it, which is there in the Himalayan 450. Now, coming down to the engine part, it's a 648 parallel twin, which means it's a double cylinder engine with SOHC, which is a single overhead camshaft. Now you can see it's a 2-in-1 exhaust system, which has actually allowed the bike to reduce its weight to 216 kilos. The tank capacity is somewhere 13.7. The company is claiming it can run 300 kilometers with one full tank. The seat is again a scrambler type bench flat, which is 830, so you can't adjust the seat height just like you can do it on the Himalayan, where the stock seat is 825 to 840, but in the accessories you get a lower seat also. So someone who is 5'5", 5'6" can have a problem in putting their leg flat. It's an all LED bike, just like the Himalayan 450. Now we'll speak something about the handlebar. It has got a very wide handlebar, so you get the comfortable while you're riding, but as you can see, it's not inward, it's a little bit on the outward side. So if someone is short height, they might feel a little bit stress while they are riding. Now, as I've already spoke about the seat height, I've already spoke the TFT display. I've spoke about it is the all LED first 650 bike. We have spoke about the engine also. It's a single overhead camshaft, whereas the Himalayan is a double overhead camshaft bike. Now, as both share the same characteristics of off-roading and adventure touring, so this bike has a 47 horsepower now and with a 57 newton meters torque at 5150 rpm. So is it that good than the Himalayan 450? Will it run that good on the mountains than this bike? Let's answer these questions only. So first we'll talk with the travel suspension part. So the first point that we are going to cover to know whether which of this bike will outperform on an adventure touring as well as on the off-road will take consider of the travel suspension. The travel suspension on the Himalayan 450 is a 200 both front and the rear. The rear has a monoshock suspension, whereas over here in the Interceptor BS650 it has got an 130 of travel suspension in the front and the rear has got a 115. Now in the rear it has got twin shocks. Point to consider over here is that monoshock suspension works properly when you're doing off-roading. It gives you that comfortable. Even when you're riding long tours, this suspension will give you more comfort than the twin shock suspension. So this is the first point. Now let's see what's in the tires for this bike. Now coming down to the point of tires. Both are dual purpose tires. Both the tires are again tubeless, but both of them comes with a B spoke, not with cross spoke. Himalayan 450 has got the cross spoke, but as this tire is also tubeless, company get an cross spoke for this one also. Now let's pick something over here about the adventure touring and the off-roading part. This is a 21-inch wheel and this is a 19-inch wheel. So as this has got a bigger diameter, it can easily overcome all the obstacles when you're doing a steep climbing on the mountains. It can cross easily all the stones, pebbles and easily, but this will have a problem over there. But yeah, again, when it is on flat terrain, this will perform also as similar to as an Himalayan 450. Now coming down to the rear wheel, both have same 17-inch wheels. The front discs are again 320 and the rears are 270. Now the third very much important point, that is horsepower, torque, what kind of engines they are, which also again determines how good they can perform. So as I already told, this is a parallel twin, means it has got two cylinders, 648, but this is again a air cooled engine, whereas this is a single cylinder 450 cc liquid cool engine. It gets the advantage of the liquid cool system. For a longer run, when you're running longer, it gets the engine gets cool easily because of the liquid cool system over here. Now when we come to the horsepower, it is giving a 40 PS at 8000 RPM, whereas this machine is giving horsepower of 47, which is a slight incremental from the last 650s of Interceptor at around 7100 RPM. Now, the main part, that is torque. This machine, we know it has gotten 40 Newton meters torque, which is released at 5500. That again, this machine 57 Newton meters torque at 5150. So does that mean this will outperform 450? Let's discuss a little bit on the torque part. What happens actually when we are getting at a lower rev, the usable power that engine is giving? You don't need to rev it to get the maximum power, but this machine, as it is giving 5150, it might give you that power. But again, the added advantage that 450 has is the travel suspension, longer travel suspension, the longer wheel, and the added advantage this bike has, another one, is the ground clearance, which is 230, and this bike has gotten 184. Something that is disadvantage is this bike has got 260 kilos weight and 196, which is not that much difference. But again, as I'm riding for this many years, obviously 450 is more of focused on an adventure touring, off-roading. This bike can also perform, but not as expected as this one, as this is my point of view. So as this video is very short, just to give you a proper description of the specs of both this bike so that you can also make a choice, as the waiting period of Royal Enfield, you know, I have already discussed in the starting only. So you guys can get an idea what can this 450 work and how can this 650 work based on their specs. Now, to know more about this machine, obviously I also need to know, because with the specs I can't decide. I have given my point of view. Obviously I will do a city ride on this one just to know more how is it easy to move within the city with this 260 kilos monster and a wider handle bar. And yes, obviously, as it has got a 650 twin cylinder, the power is also more. How is it going to handle in the traffics? How the turns it's going to take, whether it will be easy or not. And obviously, in the highway, I need to see what is the power it can give in the flat terrain. And at the end, I'll do a small off-roading patch also to know how the suspensions are working over here. And yes, the tires are again dual purpose tires. That will also let me know. This will test specifically on the highways and the off-roading. I can know that suspension as well as the braking. So that's it from Mr. Travel Buff. I hope you liked the video, and you know the drill. Subscribe, like, comment, share it with your friends who are still in confusion to take which one, the Himalayan 450 or the Interceptor BR 650. Thank you.